We finished Hilchos Giluach. I'd like to learn Hilchos Netilas Tzipornayim. Before we do Netilas Tzipornayim, I would like to take a detour. How often do you take a haircut?
Supposed to once every 30 days.
Once every 30 days. All right. Fine. I will accept that. We know the Kohen Gadol took one once a week, and the Melch took one every day. But how often do you shave? Okay. But everybody understands that if you go a week without growth, without shaving, then you have stubble, right? Then you're unkempt. So what would be the halacha of a person shaved on Erev Yontif? Is he allowed to shave on Chol Hamoed? Again, what's the subject that we're talking about? We're talking about Shaloi Yikanes L'Moed Ki Hu Shehu Menovel. So let's say the guy did what he's supposed to do on Erev Regel, and he looks like a menovel anyways. So what would be the halacha? Why are you laughing?
Because haircuts are a bit of an exception.
What?
Haircuts are a bit of an exception.
I didn't know what you said.
We said haircuts are an exception to the rule. Because even if you did before and he looks unkempt, he can't.
I don't recall ever saying that. I don't think it's even possible. That's called he didn't do it. You know, there's always, what is it called? Right? Okay, fine. Okay, so now this is this Shitas Rabbeinu Tam. The Rabbeinu Tam discusses this kind of an idea, and let's just see. V'im giluach b'erev haregel. Shu shiroch hachamon she'en boi nichutz kol kach lahatel esem olacha b'moed she'en kol kach tzarech moed. Okay. Every time when a person has the subject of haircuts, there's two subjects: the subject of malacha and the subject of sheikonis l'regel shehu menovel. I personally don't really understand. This is a parenthetical question on the Noid Yehuda, which I'm not going to answer. L'chara tzarchei guf should be mutter, and it shouldn't have an isim malacha on it. I have a way to answer the question, but I'm not going to answer because I think that the question is... What?
Are we talking about a barber that's his profession? He's not just doing it. He's not giving himself the haircut.
There's that have halacha done. Even if a guy does it for you, it doesn't make a difference. You know that have the haircut be done to you.
Because it's called a job or because of goizes?
Malacha, not goizes. Yeah, we're going to get to goizes. We'll get to Tzipornayim. We have to wait. We're over here. We're in advance. Okay.
When do we apply the principle that it has to be equivalent shavalakal, like the people that it has to be something everyone wants to do. I know it's not exactly in this case. Like for example, I heard from Asher Wise. This is an aside. He holds that now there's no heter to smoke cigarettes on Yom Tov because it's no longer shavuot to everyone. So don't we say haircuts are not something shavuot to everyone? But that's not where you apply this rule. It's not relevant here.
I don't have your question in focus exactly.
I'm trying to say there's a rule.
People take haircuts, right? I don't think that has changed, right?
No, but I mean, like for example, with shaving, I know for example Chabad Chassidim never shave. So it's not something that every Jew would necessarily do.
For those who do,
right? That's the answer to your question.
Oh, it's for those that do.
I would like to share with you the following question. This is an entertainment question. I was probably like 13 or 14, and I asked my father, Shalom, the following question: a person who shaves during Sfira for business, should he shave on Friday l'kavod Shabbos? So my father was silent. And he said he doesn't know. So I didn't. That's a pretty ridiculous answer. You don't know. How could you not know? So I asked him, why don't you know? So this is Stam a Musar Haskell of how some people think. He said, I never had a chance to learn the Sugya, so I don't know. And then he was pensive for a moment, and he said, I can't really say that. This is what he told me. Rabbi Chol Inspector complained when he became the Rav of Kovna that he's very busy with running the city, and it takes away a lot of his time. Between his davening, his shiurim, and sitting in Bezdin, there are 12 hours of the day that are used up. Aside from that, he said all of Tillim every day. My father gave me the list of exactly what Rabbi Avrohom did, and he still got learned it all. So how could I say that I didn't have time? You have to live with more asmada. That was his Musa Shmust himself. They just let me have a peek into what is going on in his brain. But he didn't answer the question. Yadua, the Chazon Ish said, shave l'kavod Shabbos. Don't shave l'kavod Shabbos. Now, that's what I learned. I was a little bit older. I got a little bit older. I found out that the yeshiva that my father learned in Baltimore, there the psak in the yeshiva was during Sfira to shave Erev Shabbos. Kavod Shabbos. This exact question. Obviously, my father knew what they did in yeshiva. It wasn't that he was looking to have some, to pin the tail on the donkey. He wanted to know what does he think. So he never thought about it, But it wasn't that he wasn't aware of the question. So I'm telling you, there's different approaches. The Chazon Ish was one that held the person should have a beard, so not shaving is Kavod Shabbos. Though I will just say I don't really understand that Chazon Ish, because we're post facto. You don't have a beard. So then the shabby look should be a problem.
This is going to be the beginning, though, of his beard.
No, but he's going to cut it off 2 days later. So what do you accomplish? If you learn that there's an isser to shave, so then 100%. But Eichshu, that's Yadua, that's the Chazon Ish held. And most people, the answer is people who shave. In other words, nobody says to the Chabadsker, why did you shave before Yontif? Right? He does not have an overgrown beard. Maybe his beard is overgrown, but he doesn't have an overgrown beard. Right? The two things are not related. So we're talking about people who shave. What should be done?
I just thought it has to be something that's equal to all Jewish people.
But all people, as Gil said, all people who shave.
Okay.
Right? That's people who shave. Obviously, a person doesn't shave. He doesn't shave. All right. V'im gilach be'erev regel az lekek zera shalei konos mikol makom also mishum ulacha v'lochein lo chashinu lahater. In our case, I'll have a gadol between the two isurim, and he has a whole piece. So that's his original thing. Then in Tinyana, this tshuva made a landmark war, because he was makel for people who shaved on Erev Yontif to shave on Chol Hamoed. And this was I guess a war is, that's probably like a nice thing to say. But it's at the end of the tzaddik, so 1 second. Seifas Chala, we're getting close. I'm going to read right now just the beginning, so you should have an understanding of the war. This is a little bit of a history class. Tshuva, usually, the Night of Yehuda's introduction to the people who he's writing to is scarce. It's like a Litvak. He wasn't very overly solicitous. The Chav Ravud Yedidi Amufla Choref, fine. Tshuva, Shalom Rav, L'Godol Rav, Orne Rav, Kavod Oyavi Mechutani Yedidi Chavivi, Mereini Harav Amufurisim, Zakim B'nai Sepasim, Chatzi V'chetzi Gibar Shinanov, V'chulu. Right? Notice he's laying it on thick. Just This is you're going to understand why in a minute. Okay? Now, Al Deva Asher Toma Shabirati B'Sifrei Noed V'Yehuda Chelik Orchayim Lahachzik Psoko Shel Rabbeinu Tam B'Giluach B'Chol Hamoed Neged Kol HaPoskim. If a person shaved on Erev Yontif, they could shave on Yontif. Hine L'Shon Shel Malaso Hu B'Zeh HaLoshon. I'm quoting the letter written to me. Ve'ikar inyan zeh temani al halashanet hagadol hazeh midochko likonis a pirza d'chuka. Who asked you, Noida B'Yehuda, to go into a pirza d'chuka? Lekayim divrei yochid b'mokom shekol ha'poiskim rishonim v'achroinim echad mehem loy neda litchos psak zo ubeprotis bedor poris shebimenu. Nobody was mekel. Where do you come off being mekel when nobody else did that? It's like a pretty amazing, he's obviously annoyed, right, if you can't tell. V'yesh locho shepoishim yikoshlo gam kama inyanim acherim, etc. Okay, now, that's his froth. V'nei ikar hatmiya en lo shachar. Lama lo etztak hatzadik meikar Rabbeinu Tam. B'makom shani roya dvorov nechonim. I think he's right. Ma habaya. Now, I just would like to share with you something what I read today. This, right now, if you came today and just heard this blurb that I'm going to say, it was worth your while. I'm right now quoting what I saw written by Rabbi Yashiv. No, it's not what somebody said over. So, Rabbi Yashiv, he discusses sometimes there are situations making it star of this and this and this, and then be mekel. So this was a question about Hilchos Shabbos, if you could do that. So Rabbi Yashiv says, we don't run our lives that way. Shabbos is not that's a perspective. It's not a question if you can or you can't. We don't. We don't recognize that that's the way you're supposed to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Okay? So this Rav is in agreement with Rabbi Yashiv, who asked you to go and find the Kula. Now, I would just share with you sentiment of what does it mean to be a rabbi. My cousin was very close with Rabbi Yankel Fisher. He was a friend of his son's, and he used to, be in his house all the time. They were friendly. And Rabbi Yankel Fisher allowed the Tiyumasin to be glued together, and this was printed in a sefer. And at that time, my cousin was learning in Bnei Brak, and he went for Sukkot to Yerushalayim. He goes by Rabbi Yankel's house, and the subject of this heter came up, and my cousin told him that in Bnei Brak they say, it's Epsan Aguna, your lulav is in Aguna, you have to go and find Epis Heterim. Just leave it as it is. So this is the other side of the rabbi. So Yaakov got very tense, and he said, through my hands passed thousands of lulavim every year. Most of them were kosher before the client got his hands on it and tore the leaves open. And he's over on an isser of gezel. Gezel is worse than an aguna. It's just where to be machmer, where to be mekel, you need shimush on that also, right? So therefore, I'm writing a tshuva that you can glue it together, and this way the guy will buy it, and he'll glue it together, and we'll be over to Segezel. It's a great service for Klal Yisrael. Right? Would you have thought of that? Okay. I guess you're not Mr. Michael Fisher. Okay. It's a good thing, because he's not alive. Anyways, ובמקום שאני רואה דבר נכונים, כי הוא מה שפונים יש בדבר, ואפילו אם היה באיסר תורה, האמס הוא עד לעצמו, וכמה בכל מסדר הבונון, I would be cholik if I felt that way, and even if it was a Sidderais, the kol shkein if it's in a Sidder Rabbanon. אבל באמס, תוסו ביודו מלויסה. אני לדעתי לא הראיתי מה שעשו ראשונים ואחרונים. I never asked anything which was forbidden. רק מצאתי חיליק בדובר לפרש דברי רבנו תם במקום שסופו תמו על תמייה שתמו עליו. I found a place where he's okay. והם הראשונים והאחרונים שעטו עליו הוא מפני שלא עולה על דייתו לפרש דבריו כן. I'm saying a pshat in Rabbeinu Tam. which they didn't have this pshat. They were never cholek on my pshat. So I'm not against anyone. I am his lawyer. And for such a thing, the Meshech Chochmah said a pshat in a Rashba, and the Rashba came to him in a dream and said, from when I wrote it, no one ever said the proper pshat in the Rashba until you, and I'm going to be making on you and go to the Mahaba. So he says, the Rabbi Yehuda says that I said the right thing, and everyone will agree with me. You, except you're the only guy not. Basically, that's what he's saying. Anyways, Umasha Kosa Beprotis Vidor Poris V'Yameinu Shapoishim Mikoshlo B'Vakam Yanim Acherim Zeh Mishumora Al Yal Roisha V'Chi Medamim B'Yisurim Zelazeh Aval Oyavai Hoyel V'Dofak Al Pischi Agiris HaEmes. Since you asked me for an explanation, I'll tell you. Uzman Rav Yisi Posech Hashtei Asifim and the Farsim Advarim Elu B'Sefer Olo. I wasn't sure Im Kozot if this should be Nisparsem V'Eged Gufa De'uvda. And he goes into a whole piece, and at the end of the day, he's mochiach that one is allowed to cut their hair, their beard on Chol Hamoed. Okay, now what? Yeah. Now you can understand in a minute why I told this to you. It wasn't for entertainment. You're allowed to cut your nails normal way. Now, bein b'yad, bein b'regel, because people would say that the regel is not so sensitive. People aren't usually checking your toenails to see how kempt they are. So wait. Afilu l'sparim, you could do it in the regular, normal fashion. Says the Ramah, aval yesh machmirim v'oisr. V'cheinu aminig lahachmer. Shaloi litlam bein besakim bein b'misparayim. We don't cut nails on Chol Hamoed. Im lo letzorech mitzvahs tefillah shenot lon kedarko b'chol. Now, I'd just like to share with you a psak for Rabbi Yashiv on this halacha. It's a fascinating psak. A lady that has to go to the mikveh Matzei Yontif. When should she cut her nails? A lady has to go to the mikveh Matzei Shabbos. When does she cut her nails? Erev Shabbos. So a lady is going to the mikveh Matzei Shabbos, Matzei Yontif. Erev Yontif. But it's Chol Hamoed.
So it's the second days.
So it's Tzarech Mitzvah. How important is it to cut your nails before on Friday? What? A good thing not to cut your nails on Chol Hamoed, right? This is the question. So Rabbi Yashiv paskin that you cut them on Chol Hamoed, regular. Now we're going to see. I don't know the chapter, line, and verse how he came to that conclusion, but if someone would ask me, I would say the exact same thing. And as we're going to learn this seif, I think we will all say the exact same thing. Maybe I'm guilty of leading the witness, I don't know, but let's see what it says over here. Now, this bothers me. If you did it with the shina, it should be better. What's our subject? If our subject is sheikodes l'regel shumanovel, no one entertained that if you have the guy cut your hair with some that's going to work, right? So why over here should we discuss doing it with a shinoi? So according to the Rabbi Yehuda, we're happy because there's an aspect of malacha too. Glazes. Isn't that what you just said?
No, two halachas. One is work malacha, one is one of the first
Yeah. So both of them are also. Both of them are also. V'yesh machmirim. Why are they machmirim? So it depends if you're a machmir or mekel. I think that the intellectual, honest question should be, Why are there mekilim? If you had to write Shulchan Aruch, what would you say? No, if you were beforehand. If you would have to guess the halacha.
The nails and don't see fat.
No, I want to know. I want to cut my nails on Chol Hamoed. Am I allowed to or not?
I'd say no.
Why not?
Because, as I've said before, it's not something like the beard or whatever being unshaven. It's not something that's so noticeable. And secondly, I would say, it's not something that takes a tremendous amount of time to do.
I'll ask you a question. I'm not picking on you, but you happen to be a clean-shaven fellow. Okay? In your prime, when you were in Chutz La'aretz, how often did you shave? Every day, every other day?
I think it was every day.
Every day. Okay. I guess you know the personal question. How often do you cut your nails?
Every few weeks, every couple of weeks.
Okay. So now, if you had to you had to compare your cutting of your nails, would you compare it to a haircut, or would you compare it to the Noda B'Yehuda's shaving? That's why we're learning the Noda B'Yehuda. Where would you put cutting your nails? What?
In between.
Haircut. Why you say haircut?
You do that once a month as well, in between.
I don't know. Most people cut their nails, I would say, between every week and 10 days. That's I don't know exactly. You'll have to Google it to find out for me. But that's my, what?
It's between haircuts and shaving.
That was the question. But you have to put it, where do you put it?
Probably closer to haircuts.
Why? Because you're a
Because
pessimist.
it's infrequent. It's not something frequent. It's not every day or every other day routine.
Okay. All right. So let's see. But at least now, welcome to the halacha. Okay. This was an introduction.
I'm not sure the reason why someone would have to do it on the Chol Hamoed for the last day of Yom Tov, because first of all they had an opportunity to do it before Yom Tov started. It's a proper section where the lady needs to go to the mikveh, but even then I would think, I don't know, I'm not a lady obviously, so I don't know how long ladies spend cutting their nails, maybe a lot more than men. I would think it just takes 5 minutes to cut a person's nails.
Well, I'm totally lost. What is the amount of time, how long it takes to cut your nails or do anything?
Because I'm saying, if it's a short task, she needs to go to the mikveh and Mepsicha. So, what difference is it going to make if she spends 5 minutes when Yom Tov goes out cutting the nails rather than doing it before?
Okay, no. At least now I understand the question.
Yeah.
That question is a mistake. The reason why you're supposed to do everything beforehand is that you should not feel pressured in your preparation. There's nothing to do with how long it takes. What?
There's things to do the last second.
It's when I'm in a rush to get out of the mikveh, so it doesn't make a difference. I would like to share something with you. I shouldn't maybe say this over in Elul, so right now it's like cheshbon, okay? The difference between a chazan that takes a long time and a chazan that takes a short time for mincha is how many minutes? Mincha. You go to shul. I don't want to daven with that guy. He takes a long time for davening. How long is that long davening? Lev, no, you should know the answer to this question.
3 to 7 minutes.
He's 3 to 7 minutes longer than the other guy?
No.
How much is the difference?
A regular mincha, so you're dealing for chazoros shots, so he might...
A regular mincha, let's say, is let's say a regular. I'm not talking about how long you still. A regular beginning to end mincha takes between 12 and 16 minutes, and the long mincha takes between 15 and 18 minutes. And right? Alma anu mitvachim. My gosh.
Percentage-wise, it's far enough.
I want to tell you something. It's absolutely nothing to do with that. It's that you're waiting. That every time you're waiting, it's like a bumpy drive.
Yeah.
That's all. No, I'm not right now. But time has to do with the way that people appreciate it, and at different times, people appreciate it differently. When the lady has to go to the mikveh and she has jobs to do, every job is a pain in the neck. It's another job, it's another responsibility, and it heightens her lachats. It's not time sensitive. It's job sensitive. You understand?
Do all this.
Right. So and we want her to have a clean slate. You don't have an easy clean up, so to speak. So, but that's why it's done on Erev Shabbos on a regular time. But the question over here is, how terrible is it to cut your nails on Chol Hamoed? And how important is it to cut them on Friday or in the different whatever it is? So this is the question that we'll see this Mishnah Berurah, and I believe when we're finishing the Mishnah Berurah, all of you will be able to become Rabbi Yashiv. So if you didn't make it to Tzedakah Fisher, you could always get on to Rabbi Yashiv.
Just in terms of what I've said about time, the time between a short mincha and a long mincha. The reason that certain yeshivas do Hetzi Kedusha and don't do Chazos Hashatz, that's, I guess, because they don't want to take off their time from learning anymore.
Correct.
That's the rationale. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
I would like to quote to you Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky in Emes L'Yaakov on Pirkei Avos, which he was bothered by your question. He said he learned in Kelm for one Zman, and they would wait for the Alta for Kelm to finish Shemona Esrei, and it could take up to an hour, and then they said Ohechi Kedusha. And this annoyed him, and he wrote a whole shtickle Torah to justify such an approach. Now, the one who put out the Sefer Emes L'Yaakov, I know personally, and when I met him about 5 years ago, I said, "Why did you print that piece? That piece, it's like a big chiddush, He said, "No. He wanted Dafka that piece to be printed." Now, this really irked him. Okay, but anyways, let's see now the Mishnah Berurah. V'yesh machmirim. Those are machmer. Why are they machmer? The Savirin the Bezeh Shaykh Gam Kiratam Kadesh Leikonas Moed Kishu Manovel. No, cut your nails before Yontif. V'yichtechem be'erev regel. V'chol hani d'matir negaleach, and those that allow one to cut the nails, not nails, to cut your hair in the previous siman. So those haircut. Those who say that you're allowed to haircut, so those people are allowed to nail also. Now we're going to see in a minute a shartzi, and a fascinating one. Mutar litol tzipronayim. V'im not lon me'erev Yom Tov. If you cut your nails before Yom Tov, mutar litol b'chol hamoed.
Unlike haircuts.
Okay? Because he did it. Yesh matirim la'olam kishegaleach me'erev Yom Tov. There are those that allow you to take a haircut if you did so before Yom Tov. V'aflan de lo kaimelon kain, like the Native Yehuda's Rabbeinu Tam, mikomokom le'inyin zeh, the yesh b'lavach ehar b'deas lahakil, yesh la ein lahachmer. So what does he say? He says that the whole shaila is not such a big shaila. Mamela, if you did it before Yontif, you could be Saimach on Rabbeinu Tam. Fascinating. Now, I would like to see Sharatzin. The Sharatzin over here is fascinating.
But nails is a lot less maneuver than shaving.
Yes. Let's see first the Berhativ. Upashet the Hani de Matil Galech Mutar Magen Avrohom. Okay. ובשיעור נחל שיבה מטה למי שזוהה לנוטל בכל ערב Shabbos, litla b'chol hamoed b'erev Shabbos. If you're an Erev Shabbos man, so you can do it Erev Shabbos and Chol Hamoed. Because of Rabbi Avrohom, the linear dim notlam b'erev Yom Tiv, mutal notlam b'chol hamoed. Da Rabbeinu Tam matir b'zeh afilu legaleach. Okay, but what about Erev Shabbos to Erev Shabbos and you didn't do it Erev Yom Tiv? So we have a whole. Nobody discussed that question.
Yeah.
What does Yom mean?
No, he's repeating.
Okay. So let's see the Sharet Siyam. This is different behativ that you could have. Why? Bishtam with your haircut, you have to go to the barber, and you were in jail. You couldn't have taken care of it. But your nails, what's the big deal? We have over here somebody says just a minute, an issue of minutes, right? It's the big deal. Ze eino. Why? The guy who was in jail by the Yisrael, he could have taken a haircut. Al kochoch hektiru mishum debeis tsar ein daito ligaleach. When a person is in a preoccupied situation, he didn't push off taking a haircut. But it's not his mind. It's not. That's not where he is. That's not where he is. So Mamela, Kadeshi Kanis Larego Kashum Novo, just taking on a little bit of a new twang. Until now, it was I wanted you to look spiffy when you came into Yantif, and now we're looking cross-eyed at those that didn't care to take a haircut. It's not the same thing. I know that's a very, very dakistik of nekuda. Until now, we thought that the vart was a positive thing. We want you to take a haircut beforehand, and now we're saying we want to cancel those who should have and didn't. So what happens when you have one without the other? The person was preoccupied, so we're not worried about him.
Yeah, he did not do it. Just wasn't it? He didn't think about it. He had a mutzdak.
He was not poshea. What? It starts from that aspect. It was not poshea. Yeah? Okay. Anyways, it's a fascinating thing. All right. Anyways.
In Tiglachas, you also have the idea of Tzibur. Everyone sees that it's a big thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But that's a shlab vet. That's in the legislation of the halacha. That's not in the reason for the halacha. Okay. Naitlan kedarka b'chol. You could do it yourself. That speaks about doing something. So you're allowed to do it. Okay. Next halacha. Kol refuah muter b'chol hamoed. It's a fascinating halacha. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Hainu shemuter lasas afilu malacha gemura letzorech refuah, v'afilu lechodesh she'en bo sakana. B'yantif. Also, afilu lishtosh davar shu refuah gezer b'shum schikas samamonim. Now, on this thing, I would like to share with you a fascinating machlekes achreinim, which is based on Rishonim. What is the issue of schikas samamonim? Excuse me. In order to make medicines, they used to pulverize different kinds of weeds, grass, herbs, I don't know, all kinds of stuff. Okay? Now, what's the problem with doing that? That's a isser of teichen. Is one allowed to do teichen on Yontif?
For food. For nefesh.
Okay.
Certainly.
Okay. So far, so good. If one does teichen for other things, is the over and Issa Daraisa, or there's a concept which the Gemara discusses, Mitoich Shehutra. You're a Beitza guy, right? Right? Oh no, we can switch places. Okay. Mitoich Shehutra Tzarech or the Shalai Tzarech. So what's the problem of Gzera that is going to be Teichen? It should be Mutter. So this Rav Shlomo Kluger has a long tshuva, many places have a long tshuva about this. Is really this halacha, which is the accepted halacha, is it really 100% infallible? That there's a problem of Refuah Yantif as strong as on Shabbos, and there's sometimes, maybe when we learn Hilchos Yantif, we'll discuss this if you remind me. Okay, we'll stop over here.
No share next week?
No share next week, yeah.